What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loop Game, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
Watashi wa Chevy.
僕の名前はクリス。
It's just sweet Seth. All right, I didn't know we're doing that. So quick reminder, we're in a new month, so PlayStation Plus games have changed. So for this month, we'll be playing Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, awesome, and Amnesia Collection, play those both, or 3. The Amnesia Collection actually comes with a Machine for Pigs and the original Amnesia.
What game?
Machine for Pigs.
What game?
Amnesia and Machine for Pigs. For Pigs.
What game?
Play those 3 games. Come back at the end of the month this month for Plus Club. We'll be talking about our experience with them, let us know yours. And our game of the month now is Overwatch. I'm sure plenty of you are playing that. Everybody's playing that game. We'll be playing that this month too. So that's cool. But last month's game of the month was Sanctum 2. We'll be talking about that this Friday. So if you played that, or if you have played it, or if you want to hear about it, we'll be talking about it this Friday. So with that, this week's kind of shitty for news. So we got 4 topics. They're all great. And we're going to get into that. Also, another thing I want to say, we're going to be doing another TLG Reacts this week. Probably, I don't know, Wednesday or so. Doing some more Monster Hunter stuff to lighten the load on this Friday's episode. So look out for that. 3 episodes this week. And with that, Chevy, first bit of news.
Assassin's Creed Origins is getting an add-on called Discovery Tour in 2008, which is going to allow you to just walk around and explore Egypt. No combat, no story, just complete freedom to explore. What do you guys think about them adding this game mode?
And if I'm feeling like it, I'll put some pictures up or whatever. But it shows people standing near certain things that actually have like sections that say what it is and has information. If there's one thing I gave Assassin's Creed a lot of credit for, it's their historical accuracy. Like I've said before, Assassin's Creed Unity was really cool for me because I'm a fucking Francophile. So like I love French culture and all that history. So seeing Paris rendered in the most accurate way you can get as of right now in Unity was really cool for me to be able to explore that. I really wish this was in that game. So I think it's awesome. I love history. So this is, if you're going to be spending that much time doing research for a fucking game, why not throw something like this in there for the people who are in history? I think it's awesome. I think it's really exciting. I wouldn't buy the game for this, but it's a really cool addition for people who are like, you know what, this is really neat. I really like ancient Egypt, and I want to learn more about it. And now I can do a virtual tour of it. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, this could be implemented in classes. So if it's accurate enough, which I assume it is, they have a team that works on the history aspect of Assassin's Creed games. So really cool. I think it's awesome.
I mean, I think you pretty much said it. It's neat. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. If you're into history, you just want to check out Egypt. I mean, you're going to have all that there. It wasn't something that people were necessarily asking for, but, you're going to get it and it's welcome. So
yeah, it's not changing the game. It's its own thing. It'd be kind of cool if they like had a thing on the side too to make it like game feeling for the people who might want to be completionists and be like, discover all the things to read about.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat and all, but like, I learned all this stuff in like middle school. But then again, like, they're still like discovering things they don't know. Like, King Tut now might have been a woman or could have been the child of incest. They don't really know anymore. So I'm not quite sure how accurate the information is because it's weird because it's history and you're supposed to be accurate and like precise, but like this history is kind of vague and we're still kind of discovering things about it. But I think it's a neat idea overall. I wish they probably would have implemented this in something that we have know a little bit more concrete information about, but it's going to be a nice little interesting sidebar.
All right.
That was pretty easy.
Going to the next topic. When talking to PlayStation gaming boss Andrew House, I don't know what a gaming boss is.
He's the boss.
Bloomberg asked him essentially what he thought about the Nintendo Switch and if they're thinking about competing with them. Now that they've made a hybrid that does portable and at-home console or gaming. They want to know if Sony plans on making a mobile gaming unit or something that can compete with it. They essentially said no, they're not really interested in that. They said that there's not really a huge market opportunity outside of Japan and Asia for this kind of thing. They say that the folks at Nintendo have their strategy, and that's great. We remain focused around a highly connected gaming experience and also coupled with having a great range of other entertainment experiences so you can reach multiple people on the big screen in the household. They also said that they most likely will not be making a Vita 2. It was not successful here. It was only successful in Asia, so there's no future for that for them. He also says, the Vita experience was that outside of Japan and Asia, there was not a huge demand. That or the lifestyle shift toward the dominance of smartphones as the single key device that is always with you was the determining factor. So yeah, to put it all together, they're not going to be competing with the Switch, and they will most likely not be making a Vita 2. What do we think about their strategy and them coming out and essentially saying they're not doing it?
They didn't support the Vita very well. They didn't support the PSP very well. That was one of the major concerns that a lot of people have with their portable systems. There was no support for them. Their games were lacking. Even the ones that were cross-compatible with the systems themselves were lacking. I loved my PSP to death. I didn't have any cross-compatible games with it, but there were several games that came out for it, just for it. Like there's a couple. One of the Kingdom Hearts games came out just for it. Dissidia, which is a Final Fantasy fighting game, came out just for the PSP. I never bothered buying a Vita because they didn't have any game support on it that I wanted. Now, the fact that they're not going to make another one it's upsetting to me because I really like having a mobile gaming system, and I wanted to have a mobile gaming system that I can just take the games to my home console and bring it with me while I'm traveling and doing other things. It just sucks, to be honest, personally, because I get that there's not a lot of demand, I guess, for it, but I think you created that because you didn't support your systems you had in place already.
Mm. Yeah, I get that. I mean, Sega did that with the Dreamcast too. That being said, though, minus the support issues, they are competing with cell phones in that demographic, and they also made the point that they only sell overseas, and I'm sure they want the money that's here. So it makes sense. It's a bummer, but I completely get it. So unless the demand just comes up again, I wouldn't count on seeing it. So.
Yeah, I think the market would have to change for them to be interested in it again, because I don't think most people are doing it. Xbox hasn't even ever shown interest in doing it. They don't really show interest in doing a lot of things.
Like making games.
But making great consoles, they do that. So as a person who's not really into portable gaming, not getting a Vita 2 is not a big deal for me, but it does kind of suck because I always like the tech behind it. I think new hardware is always exciting, and if it did get supported, I would be more interested in getting it. That being said, it would be cool if they did release some kind of mobile console again, a Vita 2, that could, have like kind of what the Pro does. It up-reses, maybe be able to play PS4 games and down-res them. And then when you're at home, maybe you could stream from your PS4 onto if you have a Pro or something like that, onto your portable, and up-res it from there. That'd be kind of cool. But again, if they're not making money off that, there's no market for them. I don't see why they would do it. And I get to what they're saying with phones essentially being the competition. They took it over. I got a new phone recently, and I started downloading some games. Games on phones are ridiculous. Like they look better than games less than 10 years ago on PC. So you can get a whole bunch of experiences on your phone already. And even Nintendo didn't necessarily make a new portable. They made a console that is a portable. So I mean, they're hitting both areas with that. So yeah, I don't think Nintendo is PlayStation's competition right now. So I don't think they really need to think about it. It just kind of sucks to hear them being like, no, we're not gonna do it. But again, also, this kind of goes with Sony's whole new strategy of simplifying their lineup. Yep. Sony was in this area around the PS3 era, and we all remember the PS3. In my opinion, it's their weakest system they ever made. It's not a bad one, but like if you think about PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, it's weaker than those other ones. Mm-hmm. So during that time, they had a shitload of cameras that were out. They had a shitload of TVs out. They had the PS3 that wasn't doing that great. They said that's when they started doing the portable shit. And they were kind of losing money in every direction. And then they kind of got the shit together. They have less TVs now, but they have like really good ones now. I mean, they have that new one that has the speaker and the screen, which is crazy. The new Bravia or whatever, 4K. It's like paper thin, and like the speaker is the screen. It's their own proprietary technology where audio comes out of the screen. It's pretty neat. So I mean, Sony's back, and it makes sense. They're cutting the fat. So and the Vita is the fat. They're simplifying the TV lineup. They're awesome TVs. You actually have a 4K Sony TV. It's awesome.
Bravia, yeah.
The PS4 is, I mean, you can't argue. It's killing it. They're ahead of everybody.
This is a Sony camcorder.
Yeah, you're watching this on a Sony. I mean, they're just doing awesome. So it makes sense to me. It just sucks to hear. You know, you can kind of get hopeful of like cool things coming out in the future, and when you just hear like, nope, we're not doing that, like it kind of ruins like the allure of like, oh, what if, you know?
I just want to be able to take Monster Hunter for my PS4 portable and like come over here and be like, oh, upload my data and play with the Vita as my controller.
PS4 is portable, and you're gonna be able to play Monster Hunter on your PS4.
And we have plenty of televisions.
We do.
There's one sitting next to my desk that's literally not being used.
Yeah. My monitor in my room can split screen.
Just want
Yeah.
That would be weird, having you both
On the same monitor? Yeah. I'd be cramped. Just fucking. How you doing? Good. But yeah, it makes sense. It just kind of sucks. It's defeatist, I guess, to think in that way. But it's just it is what it is. Any last words on that?
Not really. I guess the only thing I'd like them to see, and I think they mention it here, is that they, at the very least for mobile support, I think they are working with people to make some mobile games.
Actually, they did just create a new company for mobile games.
So we'll see where that goes. The only thing that sucks about mobile games is that, you know, obviously a lot of them are designed for touchscreen. It would be neat if they would implement a way to use your PlayStation 4 controller with your phone and then be able to actually have games on there.
Yeah.
Because then they don't need a Vita at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, because you're still just buying the game from them. Yep. They're going to make the money and then have some kind of support through an app like a Sony. They already have the Sony app or the PS4 app on there. So that's a better idea.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. And then they don't have to invest money in hardware.
What if you could play Monster on your phone with the controller?
I go through a lot of storage space on my phone already.
That's fair.
Like a lot.
Plus, if you like someone has a smaller phone, it wouldn't be too great. And if you have an older phone,
but you have an Android, you can put SD cards in there, can't you?
Now I can. With this one, my last phone, I couldn't.
What are you bitching about?
And now I can't control my TV with my phone.
You're ruining his life, Chevy.
Just bring me back my PSP, damn it.
Third bit news.
So, Valve is removing about 173 games from Steam. A lot of those are what they refer to as fake games. Essentially, they are free or cost very little. And the purpose of those games is so that you can earn cards and then sell them for real money.
That's a thing.
Yep.
Those cards that are worth like 5 cents.
You can make money.
Yeah. So for completionists and achievement whores, though, that fits right in for them. Though they're getting these free games and these cards, and anyways, you get the point there. They found a way to make money by releasing not real games. One of the major companies behind this is Zonitron Productions. They They had 86 games on Steam. That's about 10% of the games launched on Steam during those months. So what do you guys think about this and Valve's approach to it?
It makes sense. When I first read the headline to this, I was like, oh, maybe they lost like through like contracts or whatever access to these games. It's happened before, but I was like, why so many? But that makes way more sense. They're getting rid of shit that somebody's using to exploit their system. It makes complete sense to me. That's weird. I didn't even know that was a thing that's going on. It makes complete sense because I didn't ever think of that, but I'm not... Zonitron. I'm going to say that one more time. Zonitron, because that's a weird fucking name. Love that name. Zonitron. These assholes are exploiting Steam, and they need to go. It's not good for people who are actually earning achievements through games or getting cards and selling them or trading them in the normal way.
It's shady as fuck.
It's shady as fuck, and obviously Valve doesn't want that there. So it's their right. Get rid of them. Makes sense.
I don't understand why people are buying, like, using real money to buy these cards if these games are that cheap and easy or free to get. Like, why are you buying these cards?
To raise your Steam level.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason people platinum games or complete games for achievements.
I personally know a couple people on my Steam friends list that go out some pretty far lengths to get their level up.
It's a fucking level up.
Have you ever played an idle clicker?
Oh yeah, I played Cookie Clicker.
Same mentality, man.
People care about that shit. I don't. Like, just like achievements on, like, ever since 360 came out with like the achievement system, and it's I'm talking like, it sounds like I'm saying it like it's a rare group of people. It's most people are really into it. I'm not. I don't identify with it. I just like playing the game.
If I like the game enough, I'll try to get the achievements because they're challenging. Like Dynasty Warriors, I have like 98% of the achievements.
I'll say I appreciate it in the regards of like you said, if you enjoy the game, you can look at it and go, what are some other things I can do to continue playing this game?
Yeah.
I've never thought about it like that.
But in most cases,
weird.
Yeah, people are they're just doing it because essentially that score.
My E-Peen!
Yep, pretty much.
Pretty much, exactly. I mean, like, if there's a number allotted to you and I have a number allotted to me and it's from something that we're doing and I can have a higher one than you, I can tell you that I got a higher one than you. I mean, that's literally what it comes down to. In our brains, we like seeing numbers go up.
I don't understand.
That's why idle clickers exist.
Yeah.
Like fucking Cookie Clicker when that came
Oh,
out.
I played that for like all of like an hour and I was like, this is dumb.
Oh, I played it I went fucking insane on that game. My primal caveman brain was just like,
Do I have any on my phone right now?
probably. But yeah, makes sense to me. Just people explain shit. Makes sense. Do you have anything else you want to say on that?
The only thing I really have to say is I'm glad they're doing something about it, but this is also kind of like putting a bandage on a gushing wound.
They're gonna come back.
They're gonna come back. They need to find a way to like prevent this from happening, which is going to be complicated. I do have one on my phone right now.
I suppose they don't have a system that can kind of like process the game better than that.
But I think a large part of the problem is Steam is so bloated at this point.
Yeah.
There's so many different things going on.
Games every day.
I can't imagine that the code for that platform is very simple anymore.
I mean, how many versions of those Euro Truck simulators and farm simulators are out there? And like,
be careful, man. Euro Truck Simulator is very popular.
Big business.
I've seen some of those earlier games played, and those early ones are buggy as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's at least they're doing something. I mean, all of us here have played Final Fantasy 14, especially in the beginning of the game. The RMTs, or real money traders, were really bad. Those are people who take in-game currency, sell them for real money outside of the game, trade them to your character. That ruins economies in online games, and it took them a very long time to get that under control. And you still have them, but it's like one person every once in a while now.
The economy's still bloated from it.
Yeah.
Real bad.
So yeah, that's any online platform that has the ability to make money in real life. People are going to find a way, and yeah, I think it's just going to be endless. So
It's just funny how so many people are just like consumers. They just like buy games, they play them, and there's people who like plan this shit out.
Yep.
But I mean, like, and once this doesn't pan out for them, they're gonna find something else to exploit.
absolutely.
I mean, these people are just looking for a way to make a buck or gain something. So always gonna have to battle it.
Well, it's like those click farms.
Yeah. And then even like thinking, this reminds me of like CS:GO Lotto type shit too. That whole
Yep,
thing
that
where
was
they're
sketch.
getting kids to fucking gamble and stuff like that illegally. It's just crazy how video games now is a way you can kind of like get away with like fraud almost.
Seedy underbelly shit.
Yeah.
I'll say the history of the world. Someone creates something that's with good intentions, and people will find a way to exploit it. So
Always.
Yep.
Any last words?
You're an idiot if you do this. If you buy this shit.
Yeah, probably. They probably are. Let's jump into the last topic. Atari Box. More info has come out about it. Gonna jump through a couple of the highlights, but it's coming out in spring 2018. It's gonna cost between $250 to $300. Yep. And yeah, it will be powered by a custom AMD processor with a Radeon graphics technology. It will run Linux, sporting a customized, easy to use user interface, and it will be a full PC experience, so you can also use it to stream content and listen to music or whatever else you might do on a PC. It will also come loaded with old Atari games when you purchase it. And they also say it will be playing current titles. Yeah. So they come out with this information. It's a little more robust than I think a lot of people were expecting. Not as robust as some people might have wanted, though. What do we think about it?
I think they made an affordable Steam box.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's neat. Size-wise, if you look at it, it is impressive with how small it is. I I think they're
It's just a video
they're
card with
really
a shell.
playing their name though. Atari box, make it look like a little Atari. Oh, it has some Atari games, but that's really just like it's a fucking PC.
Yeah.
That's all they.
Yeah, but all consoles are nowadays.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not like trying to be negative. I just think it's kind of funny. Like most of their advertising has nothing to do with Atari. So
Aside from those classic games and the thing looking like an Atari.
yeah.
And I remember reading a thing a couple days ago saying that the guy who's the CEO of Atari right now said that this came to mind when he was noticing that a lot of young people were taking their laptops and plugging them into their TVs to play Minecraft. So he thought that it'd be cool if they came out with a console that could play PC games like a Steam box on a TV.
I mean, we had a living room media center PC for years. So
Yeah.
until TVs got to the point where they are now, you don't even need that stuff. But it was really nice to be able to have a computer hooked up in the living room. So I mean, I get the attraction.
I mean, this is gonna go one of two ways. It's either it's gonna work out for them or it's not, because Atari doesn't have any pull anymore, really. But they're also a name that's recognizable. I mean, even if you don't play video games, you know what Atari is. The thing that's smart about this, in my opinion, is he noticed that there are people doing that.
Yeah.
So if there are people doing that, there's a market for this. If it is interesting and enticing enough for people to want to buy, and the edge that they have on a Steam box is a vague name that goes across an area that your average person is not going to know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Even people who like playing PS4 probably don't know a whole lot about that, know how to like really, I mean, you could Google it and find one, but like there's so many and they all look so different. They're all made by different people. Whereas an Atari box coming out, which is essentially a Steam box, comes out, people think console. There is an Atari box, and it's a better marketing idea than having a broad array of types of computers you can buy.
Yeah.
They're not selling a type of product. They're selling a console with a name. So I think they got that going for them. And I also think it's smart too, because I'm sure Steambox is going to essentially run Steam, and it's more like an open source feeling type thing, mini computer, whereas this will have like an OS, like a UI, like a console will, more, user friendly. And then something I've said since the beginning we've been talking about this is I want this to succeed, because the idea of having a new console in the console race is awesome. I don't think they're going to do it, but if they do, that'll be great, because we need more. I'd love to see a resurgence of different people making consoles. I mean, back in the 90s, a bunch of people were making, Panasonic was making fucking consoles. A bunch of people were making consoles. So we kind of need to see, if you're paying $350, $400 for something, that's console price. So I'm really curious to see this thing in action. Plus, they're marketing to older people older than us in our demographic with the old Atari games. I mean, an older person walks up, sees us like, oh, Atari's back out, and then they can connect with younger people, going like, oh yeah, that also plays shit I'm into.
Yeah.
So they got to market this thing well. That's it. I think they have something here that could pan out if they're smart about strategy.
Yeah.
But it is a glorified Steam box. But they have to really be specific about why you want this. And they already have it with the name, like I've already gone over. They already have that. So they just have to be really specific about marketing this thing. Right. That's going to kill them if they don't do that right.
Yeah, the poll is definitely not in their favor on this. I'm curious to see all that it does and how it plays other games. If it's just like an Atari or a Steam box where it just kind of digitally downloads games and plays them through it. I'm really curious about the streaming capabilities of it. And a weird thought crossed my mind, but if you could plug it into your computer and use that as a streaming device through your computer, if you're playing a game on your computer, just stream through the Atari box. But
possibly. I know Steam does that. So if it had Steam box capabilities like that, then you could probably do that.
Yeah.
Which would be smart, because then you could play higher end games too on it. But
I will say that old media center we used to have, I was able to play Ark on it, but the only reason I was able to do that is because I was streaming it over the network from my actual gaming PC. So
yeah, and I've played on this laptop right here, I've played games for my PC before, so I only had problems with one of them, so it works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already use my TV as my computer monitor.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you're kind of the demographic they're looking at then.
Kind of.
I think their demographic. I think they're going for younger people and older people with this, though, because people
Ahead
like
of our
us,
age and behind
Yeah.
our age.
because it's gonna give like kids access to like PC games in an easier way than like on a PC. Even though kids growing up nowadays are fucking like raised with PCs. I was, so I'm sure they're tech savvy already. But older people too. They're gonna look at this and go like, "Oh, Asteroids! I used to play that. This blah 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 blah."
Pong!
Pong! Red Dead Redemption 2's on this.
Pitfall!
But yeah, I want to see more on this. I'm actually interested in it. If it looks cool, I would be interested in buying one. Just because I want to support somebody trying to get in there and make a console. But if it comes out and it's essentially an Ouya, I won't be buying it. It's a good try on their part, but I gotta see a real push, real like we're here to play, not just hope you guys will buy my console.
I think they came too late to the console game.
Well, anybody now. I mean,
Yeah.
Microsoft was late to the console game. They just had expendable money to break through the fucking
They
barrier.
took losses for a long time.
Yeah, the original Xbox fucking lost them money. But that investment of that got them to make the 360, which was really successful. So
Yeah, I think it's too late for the console races because the main consoles are now talking about not making newer consoles anymore. Just peripherals for it.
well, they were talking about that. Now they're all making these newer pseudo consoles. So I don't think they're as done as they think they are. I think they want to be done. But like again, years ago they were saying that like Blu-rays and DVDs were going away, physical ones. We're still buying them. So I mean like. And books. I remember when people were saying books were going away. That was years ago. They're not.
How are books gonna go? Books are never gonna go away.
People like physical things. I think that they're trying to read the market, but the market's not changing in some ways. Because I buy less movies than I used to, but I still buy movies if I like them. I just have I have a way now to determine if I want that movie easier now than I used to.
Yeah, well, I was say, and we're getting off topic, but just to add to that real quick, I'm the same way. I buy like movies that I think are really, really good, and even if I'm not like rewatching a million times, is more of me going like, yes, please, like make more movies like this. And then otherwise, I can either just watch it on one of the many services that are being paid, that are out there to stream content, or if not, I go on Amazon. I can rent it for like $3 and watch it real quick. You know what I mean? Or other ways, which not gonna mention or support, but they're out there.
I already questioned Jesus earlier, so you can say whatever you want.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so many options out there, and there are people out there who maybe don't want to collect things, but maybe they're not collecting that. But I guarantee they probably have something they're buying physically still. So
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because like I went through this phase where I was like, when I was like really deep into PC gaming and stuff like that, and I still am, but like I play everything now, like across the board. But I went from like buying physical things to going like, oh, I don't want to buy only digital, and I was like, I'm okay with only buying digital because I have like 500 games on Steam. And then now I'm moving back into like, I have a lot of games on there. And I've played like half of them. It's a lot of games. I already have problems playing my PS4 games. But now I'm back in a place now where like I buy games digitally all the time on my PS4. But if there's a game like I'm really looking forward to, I want the physical copy. Mm-hmm. There's a thing in the back of my brain that like I want a physical representation of owning that game.
I'm buying the special edition Monster Hunter.
Yeah, exactly. I feel
Physical.
like we probably all
Physical.
will. Yeah. That's a game I'm absolutely buying physically. Man, how the fuck did we get into this talk?
well, we're talking about
Digital stuff.
Okay, yeah.
just
like
reading the market, which is essentially what these
Okay.
guys are trying to do. But they have to be aggressive, and they might have to take losses for a while. So
I don't think Atari can afford taking losses though.
they probably can't. So they really got to be smart in advertising because that's the only chance they got.
I think going back to talk about the console though. I think another thing that they got going from though is they have an established console. It doesn't look like a Steam box. Steam boxes, if you look at them, look like
Computers.
generic small computers that are all like colorful and like gamer PC looking, and they're cool. But like I said, Steam boxes is like it's a genre of hardware. It's not a specific thing. Whereas you look at that, and even if you like, you could look at that, see the Atari symbol with the wood grain, and you know it's an Atari.
Yeah.
So I mean, like they have everything in place to essentially sell a console. They just need to make sure the console's worth the money. It's going to play things in a modern day, and people are going to want it. Because if it only plays what other consoles play, and it doesn't play them as well, nobody's going to buy it. And no one's going to buy it for the old Atari games. You have access to those through other things. You can buy fucking discs. You can pirate them, emulate them. There's a bunch of things you can do. If you have your old Atari, you can do that. I mean, like...
A lot of them are probably available on phone.
Well, and they even made, like, every year they come out with, like, one of those new, like, Atari box where it's just, like 600 Atari games.
You know, like the Sega Genesis, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ball's in their court. And the money factor is important because they have enough money to get this started, but they've been looking into crowdfunding. I think they could probably afford this on their own, but I think, if it doesn't pan out,
they're trying to find a partner.
Yeah. And they don't have a name anymore, really, so they can't get anybody to back them because no one knows if this thing's going to be successful. I mean, among us, I'm like the one that's most likely to probably pick one up. You don't sound very into it, and you're kind of like, wishy-washy in there about that. So across the board, doesn't really seem like a whole lot of people are probably going to buy it if we're representative of it at all. So.
Right.
But again, like I said, I don't think we're the demographic.
Yeah.
I'll ask my mom if she'll buy one.
Yeah, that'd be a good question. I think my mom would be interested in one. I don't think she'd buy one, but she used to play older games like that. So, any last thoughts on the Atari box? It's potential.
Good luck.
Yep. I was gonna say, wish you luck.
Good luck. Be aggressive and let people know why they're buying that box. Don't just say it plays games, because there's everything that plays games. Everything does.
Be unique.
Fucking TVs play games, man. Like. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Taste Tuesday. Let me know in the comments. I forgot to ask this. What do you think about PlayStation not making a Vita 2? Are you one of the people out there who enjoyed that console? I know people who liked it. Cody, you, 2 other people. Let me know. And yeah, like, subscribe to Joe's episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr and Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out the streams on the channel. If you missed them, they're uploaded. Check them out on Twitch, Tasty_fruit. And my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Professor Menez of Christoph.
And yeah, coming this week, we'll have that Monster Hunter React video coming out. Until then, have a good week, guys, and take it easy.